Artistic Gymnastics Championships. The men will feature first up as we join the competition as part of 6 rotations, each qualified competitor performing across floor, pommel, rings, vault, parallel bars and high bar. Now Maxim Deviatovsky of Russia to defend his title that he won in Amsterdam in 2007. So silver medalist, the man we saw at the top of the programme, Germany's Fabienne Hambouchat, emerging one. And solid enough from her. Hambouchat already claiming the gold medal for the men for Germany in the individual all-round, but Russia very, very strong in this competition. Xenia Semenova as well, flying the flag for the Russian team. And we've got France with 2 very exciting junior athletes, Marine Petit and Yuna Dufournet. We'll see if they will feature as our coverage goes on. Afanaseva, very solid start to this competition, but some concerns, as we've already mentioned it in the men's competition, but Vincent, some concerns for Romania. It'll be interesting to see how Ispasa and Tamirjan get on today.
Well, just to kick off, one of those very interesting circumstances, Afanaseva came in 20th. You can have 2 gymnasts per nation, and she ranked 3rd out of the Russian gymnasts, and they've decided to bump her ahead of Kristina Goranova and put her in. So imagine Goranova's morale, having achieved that rank, and someone jumps over her in the all-around competition. Maybe Afanaseva has greater potential, but the powers that be have made that decision. We've seen it in the past, so interesting.
Well, here's someone that is in these finals by right, one of the favourites for the gold medal. 2 golds in the individual apparatus last time around, and that's not so good for Semenova. Semenova, one of the bright hopes for European gymnastics, and a tidiest start on the uneven bars for her.
Had a fall in the preliminary competition, really grown immensely in the last year from a little girl. Got some elegant legs, but losing her back tension a number of times there.
Well, that was an interesting routine from Semenova. Right, almost unrecognisable from the last time that we saw her in action on Eurosport.
Remember, 4th in Beijing, so really is a world-class gymnast.
So Semenova picking up 14.925 on the uneven bars in this first rotation. So Becky Downey for Great Britain in action in rotation 1 on the vault. The performer that is starting to emerge from a whole range of performers across a range of nations as well. Oh, my apologies, we've moved to I think rotation 2. Yes, Downey in action on the uneven bars in rotation 2.
Downey got some exceptional work, but can be temperamental. This is one of her strongest apparatus. Stalder with full turn. There's that second big E-release. Toans, Stalder Kachovs, very highly related. Safely down onto the low bar, just a dismount to go now. It's got to get her momentum going.
Oh, there we go, absolutely nailed the landing. Downey looks delighted with that performance. Has had Beth Tweddle to model her skills on. Really leading the line for the British gymnasts on this apparatus, Beth Tweddle.
Yes, Tweddle leading #1 in the apparatus final. Downey coached by Claire Starkey, the knots coach, sharing that moment of success.
Semenova into the 14s on her uneven bars routine, which I must say was very, very untidy by her own high standards. Now onto the beam.
Good acrobatics, but those first jumps possibly not showing maximum range in terms of 180-degree split of legs. Remember, the judges can take 0.1, 0.3 or 0.5 in their penalties, not meant to take 2s and 4s. So they've got to decide whether it was a small, medium or a large error. So what we've seen so far, one would suspect a 0.1 errors.
Huge pressure on the Russians, the Romanians, the Italians to somehow produce programs to compete with the superpowers, USA and China.
But to get the biggest beam tariff, it's all about joining those acrobatic skills. And there was that half turn into the handspring called an anodi, linked into that backflip, straight back somersault skill. So that could get up to 2/10 bonus.
Oh, very solid finish there. A big smile from Semenova. I think she's settled herself down in this competition now.
Backflip straight, somersault legs together.
Confirmation of Semenova's mark. Another one in the 14s, a little lower than the uneven bars, but always tough to pick up those marks on the beam. Now, how's this for a round of applause, a welcome for the queen of Italian gymnastics, Vanessa Ferrari. Just exploded onto the scene a few years ago. Since then has had injury problems, persistent problems with her ankles in particular. You can see there some heavy strapping on the right.
We watched her become world champion in Aarhus, Simon and myself, and what a phenomenal athlete she was. She used to do that opening tumble, double back, double somersault. She's had to cut back now to only a double back with 1 somersault. Kept the same music. Thought you might have choreographed something a little different for her, but she's got full of figure, entered women's gymnastics, but wonderful turning jumps.
Incredibly important for Italian gymnastics that Ferrari competed in this competition. Proving she still has the ability.
Great range of movement. I think the reason I have such respect for her is she was world champion, but she's hung in there. She's been prepared to compete at every major championships, even when she's made mistakes and taken knocks. It's very easy to throw the towel in and say, well, I've been world champion, enough, I'm going to retire. But she just loves the sport, and despite sometimes not being at her best, is there for us all to enjoy.
How's that for a finish? And a lovely smile from Ferrari, even before the routine was over. Once she nailed that final tumble, she knew the crowd was hers. Are the judges going to be hers, though? That's the point.
They're so proud of her.
We noticed in Aarhus in Denmark, didn't we, Vincent? She's got such a presence. Well, there we go, 14.525 as repair work continues on Ferrari to keep her going for these 4 rotations. Well, interesting start to this competition. Semenova not exactly stamping her mark on it so far. She's the favourite for the gold medal, but her compatriot Afanasova going well in 2nd place, and Becky Downey as well, making use of a very strong start in 3rd. But it's Semenova that everybody has to catch. We'll see if they can do that after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Milan. 2 rotations still to go. Semenova of Russia next in action in this